What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fantasy Feud. We're here breaking down our second game of the divisional rounds. We are talking the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. Who's going to win this one, Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G? I don't know. This is going to be a good game in my opinion. It's going to be better than most people would expect it to be. But before we get into today's video, I want to say like the video, comment down below who you think is actually going to win, and subscribe to the channel. Look, Paul's pointing at the button right now. You can't actually click that one. Click the one under us down there. It's that little red button. You see it? If you click it, it gives you a special surprise of seeing great videos every single day. But I'm done talking about that stuff already. I'm going to get things over to Paul, and he's going to start us off today with some breakdowns of this game.
All right, so if you guys follow the NFL, you would know that Aaron Rodgers has already beat this San Francisco 49ers team earlier in the year. It took a last-second drive for them to win. Jimmy G thought he had it in the bag, scoring with a minute to go. Little did he know, he gave the ball back to probably the greatest quarterback of all time. And he went down. They won the game. Done and over. Done and dusted, right? Well, we're not talking about regular season. We're talking about the playoffs now. Last three playoff games Green Bay has played against the San Francisco 49ers, they have lost. They're 0-3. Back in 2012, divisional game, 45-31. That's when the emergence of Colin Kaepernick came about, and he absolutely destroyed this team on the ground. And they met again the next year, 2013, in the wild card. Again, this one was at Green Bay, but same result. San Francisco wins 23-20. Most recent one, 2019 NFL Championship game at Levi Stadium. Guess what happens? Green Bay loses a third time, 37-20. They got ran all over by Raheem Mostert in that rush attack. What's going to happen? What streak is going to break this time around? Green Bay, they're undefeated at home. They're the only team in the NFL to do that this year. Is it the undefeated streak at home, or is it going to be the 0-3 against San Francisco, the past three playoff appearances? Obviously, the divisional game is at Lambeau. Temperatures are probably going to be terrible. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a hectic game. As it stands on the season, Green Bay is averaging 30 points a game at home. They're limiting opponents to 17. That's where San Francisco comes into play. They're averaging 25 points a game on the road. I think that this is going to be crazy. I think San Francisco is going to be able to run the ball. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to do as much as he possibly can. But I'm going to let these two talk about it a little bit. I've been talking enough.
Man, I don't know who is going to win this game. I think it's going to be – I think all these divisional round games are going to be good. I don't think there's going to be any blowouts anywhere. And this one is probably the one people expect most to be a blowout, but I would hold your horses there because the Niners – they got a guy named Deebo Samuel on that offense. And when you have a guy like Deebo Samuel on your offense, you always have a chance to win the game. He is by far the best diverse player in the NFL. He is one of the best receivers there are. He's by long and by far the best running receiver out of anybody. One of the best after the catch in the NFL. Guy is absolutely insane and elite. And then on top of that, you have a good running back in Elijah Mitchell on that offense who – he takes the load off of Deebo Samuel, who seems to be the RB1 at times for this Niners offense. But Elijah Mitchell, great running back. Jimmy Garoppolo, one of the best game managers there are. He's not an elite quarterback by any means. He's not a bad quarterback by any means. He is just a game manager, and that's exactly – he fits that scheme perfectly. And then you got George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the league. I would argue he's still top 2, but he could be number 3 now because of the emergence of Mark Andrews this season. But – not the emergence, I should say. He's been here for a couple years now, but he exploded again this year, and Kittle's had a down year. But no, the San Francisco 49ers, that offense is so good in my eyes, and they're clicking at the right time here at the end of the season. They're running into the best team in the NFC right now. I don't know what to say about the Packers other than they're very good, and they got Aaron Rodgers. I just think that it's going to be a great game because of the both high-powered offenses.
To speak on this, you guys mentioned that high-powered 49ers rush offense. The Green Bay Packers allow 4.7 yards per carry. They're tied 20th in the league with that. They average allowing 109.1 yards per game. This is where San Francisco has the ability to take charge and really play their game and run that football. Now, opposed to that, Packers passing defense is much better. They've played that side of the ball a lot better during this year. But to kind of even keep going about this, Stone, you were talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not played well actually in terms of efficiency. His rating's been under 90 over the past 3 or 4 games. He's thrown 5 interceptions. He's over the last 3 games. That's not looking too good. The Packers are about to get back Jair Alexander. He's limited. He's a participant, hasn't played all year. David Bakhtiari played in Week 18. They're talking about Zadarius Smith coming back. He hasn't played. He didn't play at all this season. Whitney Mercilus has been out since Week 10. The Packers are getting back some key players to this team. Players that are kind of looked at as the top at their position. Jair Alexander is a top 5 corner. He is going to be able to do some things against this team. Can he stop Debo? I don't know. It's going to be crazy to watch these things.
I would say Jair Alexander is arguably a top 1 corner in the NFL. Guy's an absolute stud, but I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's definitely in the conversation for number 1 cornerback in the NFL when he's healthy. But I want us to go back, speak on something. I never said Jimmy Garoppolo is good. I said he wasn't good specifically. I just said he's a good game manager. He runs the team
you're right.
the way they need to be ran. Like, yes, he makes stupid decisions and bad throws, but he does what he needs to get them wins.
They are 2-6 when he throws a pick.
That's
2-6.
bad.
I think one of the games they won were against the Cowboys. The Cowboys were not a good football team.
Yep, they won last
But
week.
I believe on the regular season, they were 5-4 against playoff teams. I believe, if I'm pulling that stat correctly out of my head, they have been one of the better teams in the NFL in terms of playing playoff teams, playing good football teams.
So this isn't a shot. This isn't a shot that I'm trying to take at the Rams. With that 2-5 that you said, no, it's not. With that 2-5 you said where he throws a pick and they've won and lost, does that include the Rams game, the last game of the season?
That's my stat. They're 2-6 when he throws an interception.
Yeah,
it's in 2021 altogether. Yeah.
Did he have an interception in that game? I'm pretty sure he did, right? And that was one of their wins.
I think so. I think you're right on that.
Okay, so the only reason I bring that up is because what you just said is the defense has the ability to kind of limit the turnovers that the offense makes. It allows them to stay in games.
Yeah.
Fred Warner is probably one of the best middle linebackers in the league. You have Nick Bosa, who is probably one of the top 3 defensive ends in the league. That I'm not sure. I'm just talking about their defense overall because I know him and Bosa both were knocked out of the game last week.
Fred Warner is one of the best linebackers in the league.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They have the ability to limit those mistakes that they make and still kind of give this team a chance to win, especially when they're very run heavy. They control the clock. But you're going up against one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, one of the most elite, Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't make those mistakes. So he's going to basically, I guess, limit himself in his own offense with not making those mistakes to where his defense has to cover for him. Whereas on the flip side, like you just said, the San Francisco 49ers, their defense does have to cover for this offense at times. So when you're going up against a team like Aaron Rodgers and this offense is scoring 30 points a game at home, you can't have those mistakes. And if Jimmy Garoppolo has any of them, or if there's any type of fumble by a receiver, I honestly don't see the 49ers being able to withstand that type of attack from the Green Bay Packers.
Dude, the Packers have 18 picks this year. That's 6 in the NFL. Yeah. I bet they're going to be able to force Jimmy G to throw a pick. But the 49ers offense is ranked top. I think they're ranked number 1 in the NFL this year. They have played really, really well. So we've got a bunch of just rocks meeting a very hard place. These stats that we're throwing out here, we know who's going to prevail? I think it kind of leaned to Paul when he said, I don't know if the 49ers will be able to withstand just the playmaking potential. How are you going to stop Devontae? Emmanuel Mosley has played very well this year. All right. He's not allowed any touchdowns. He's, they got like a 65 completion pass percent against him. He's playing, very well in terms of a corner this year. I think that's one of their bright spots on their defense coming against this Packers high-powered offense. But, I really don't see how they're going to slow them down and then be able to keep up with them on the offensive side of the ball. I don't want to take away anything from Debo, but can Jimmy G air this ball out. And I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have to be a huge part of the game. George Kittle had in the last 4 games, he's been almost irrelevant. So have they been just kind of downplaying George Kittle to kind of bring him out this Saturday in this game? They need to use George Kittle this week in order to win. That is just hands down. But in the last 4 games, he has not done much.
If they use Kittle, they definitely have a better shot at winning this game, because I think George Kittle against this defense specifically is kind of a defense he can shine against, because, they have the stud corners and they have the stud pass rushers. They don't really have a guy who can cover the tight end amazingly. So I think if this is going to be Kittle's game, it should be Kittle's game. But enough of all this stuff. I think we've talked about enough here. I want to hear the predictions here. We're going to start with Paul. Who is winning this game? What's the score?
I just want to throw one quick thing in that you just spoke about with Kittle right before I give my prediction. I think if they can get him going over the middle plus Deebo Samuel, that unlocks Deebo Samuel's ability, because he's a great receiver out of the slot. He's a great receiver when it comes to the screen game. And so I think if you can open up one or the other first, it allows the other to actually get going. Now getting into my prediction, I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they're just too high-powered. I think the fact of A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones both combined with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, but also with Aaron Rodgers being able to get guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Alan Lazard involved, make them look like really good receivers. I just think it's going to be too much for this San Francisco team, especially if they're down Fred Warner. I know you guys talked about there probably isn't going to be any blowouts this week, but I foresee this game probably being around 31-20, something like that. Not a huge blowout, but I think Green Bay is going to have control of the whole game.
Gosh, guys, this is tough. In order for the 49ers to win, Shanahan has to do the best job of coaching this week. I know they've got it matched out the last 3 times they've played. It's going to be tough for the 49ers to win this. Absolutely. They absolutely can win this game. I'm not saying they can't. My prediction, I'm going Green Bay Packers 27 over the 49ers 20 points in this Saturday divisional game.
I love everything about this Niners team. And like you said, Kyle Shanahan has to come out with the perfect play calling. Kyle Shanahan's a coach who can get that done. Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. So I am not putting it past Kyle Shanahan to be able to pull off the upset against Green Bay, because San Francisco has played everyone tough this year. Regardless if they're a playoff team, regardless if they're not a playoff team, they have played pretty much everyone tough. And I do like the team a lot. That being said, I'm still picking Green Bay. This is going to be a fantasy few sweep right here. I'm picking Green Bay to win.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be closer. I think it's going to be about 27 to like 31. I think it's going to be a little higher scoring. I think Green Bay is going to take 31 points, Niners 27. But
most NFL experts are picking, I saw like out of 10 picks, there was one 49ers pick in there. It is, I would love, let's throw a shot in the dark out there. I would love to see 49ers win just as an underdog, but I would hate to see them win because the Rams can't seem to beat them. And y'all know I'm a Rams fan. So either way, I think it's going to be a great game, but it sounds like we're all picking the Green Bay Packers to clean sweep this.
Yep. And with that being
said, as a Bears fan, I can 100% ring the same sentiment, Mason, with you. I would love to see San Francisco win. I think they have to, like Stone said, they have to have a perfect game plan in every aspect, special teams, offense, defense, to have a chance. But like Stone said as well, it's just too obvious of a pick for Aaron Rodgers not to be able to make it to a championship this year.
But it's an easy pick to pick them to lose a championship also for Green Bay. But that's all I got to say today. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. Who do you think actually is going to win this game? And subscribe to the channel, because you're still here. You're still watching. You enjoyed the video. There's more videos like this each and every single day. So why wouldn't you subscribe to this channel, right? So go ahead, click that button, and become a part of our community. Today, I'm going to send things over to Mason. He is going to break us out of here, as he always does.
Fantasy Few out, baby. Let's go.